Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. Tobias, will you please take roll call?
Kenny. Here. Mars.
Here.
Richardson.
Here.
Fire. Here.
Okay, stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For tonight's invocation, I choose to ask for blessings, so let us pray silently together, each of us according to our own beliefs. Bless those in uniform who serve and protect our country in the name of freedom. Bless our local, state, and national leaders. May wisdom and integrity reign in their lives. Bless our firemen, first responders, policemen, and other guardians of our community. Protect them as they protect us. Bless the farmers during harvest. May they have a safe and prosperous season. Bless the school children, teachers, parents, and staff as they navigate through these unfamiliar times. Bless the people of this community. May those among us encounter compassion and peace. And bless the mayor and my fellow council members for the opportunity to serve the citizens of Crooks and our city. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future. May we act wisely and well. Amen. I need a motion to approve the posted agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Forgive me, it's my first time doing this, if I ask Tobias for help, but do I need to repeat what they sent out to you? Okay. Consent calendar.
You still want to have a vote on?
Oh, sorry. All in favor? Say aye. Same sign. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now, the approved and posted agenda.
So moved. Oh, consent calendar.
Or consent calendar.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Any discussion?
Or any discussion? Anybody want anything pulled? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Public hearings. Yeah. I'm just trying to find it. Notice of hearing for a conditional use submitted by Justin Richter, 501 Ash Grove Lane. Yeah, I was just trying to find it. So you got a conditional use permit for an oversized shed. It went to planning and zoning on August 31st. Planning and zoning unanimously approved. It was reviewed to verify compliance with size, setback, and design standards. No additional conditions were required to propose. No public comments were noted. The board unanimously voted to approve the conditional use permit. Discussion, questions? Is there anybody opposed from the public? Anybody have comments from the public? Okay, hearing is closed. Does anybody have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Okay, open comments. I'll get it straight. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, open comments.
Hearing none.
Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Open comments. Pamela Jansen.
Oh, I didn't know, yeah.
Oh, yep. So there's a, if you can go up there to the mic there. And then just state your name one more time.
Is that
There's a button right, it'll be green if it's on. right on the top of it.
I'm sorry.
Right there.
Yep.
Oh,
You're close enough.
okay. I'm
Pamela
Pamela Jansen.
And I live at 700 East 4th Street, Crook, South
Dakota. And I came here, you still know me?
Yeah, it's-
I don't know. I came to,
State that I had sewer backup, well, actually 4 different times, but
the first time was on
8, 5,
2020, and I have
the sheets kind of, I typed all this up and whatever. And I can show you some
pictures
too.
But anyway, this happened in the evening, and I went downstairs, and I saw sewage, species, everything just kind of shooting out of my basement. At that time, I was just like flabbergasted because I never had anything, even water in my basement. And I've
Lived in this property for 25, 26 years.
So then I panicked, I didn't know what to do, so I called Jenny back, and she said she couldn't do anything, so called Roto-Rooter, is what I did. It was after hours, of course, at that time of night, so it was about 9 o'clock by the time I noticed this, so it was after that that I called her and Roto-Rooter. So he came out, and it didn't stop, it hadn't stopped then, and it didn't stop the entire next day till but I'll get into that later. So he was looking for the source of the clog or whatever, the manhole, so he went outside and did that. By this time it was dark, so he really couldn't see anything very well. So he tried to look for it and could not find it, so he left. So then I stayed up till about 2:30 in the morning, suctioning up sewage, water, whatever I could, to try to get it to stop. I thought it might stop, but it didn't, and I finally had to go to bed at 2:30 in the morning, and I was up at 5:30 a.m., and it was all over the place. It was just as bad or worse than when I finally went to bed, because I had it somewhat dried up at 2:30 in the morning. So then again, I called Jenny back about 7:30 a.m., Roto-Rooter called them back at 8 or so. And then after all that, called my sister because I needed somebody to help me with all of this messes. It was horrible. It was nonstop. Then I looked outside, and Jenny Beck was out there, Chad Rizek, and someone else, and they were looking for manhole covers again. I came back up, and I approached them, and I didn't know what they were exactly doing, but they said they did look for the manhole covers. And in the meantime, Andrew from Roto-Rooter showed up, and he just went, I just had him go right downstairs, trying to look over the situation and figure out what he could do. And then my sister and my nephew and my great-nephew came to help me, and they all went downstairs. And then I went back outside, and I just wanted somebody from the city to look and see what was actually happening, because it was shooting out of my shower, shooting out of the floor drain. And I asked them 4 different times, could you please come down and just look at what's going on here? And no one would do it. They just would not come down at all. So I just gave up, went back downstairs, and we started cutting all the carpet up, pad, everything. I can show you some of them out here. It's kind of small, but if you want to look at any of the photos of the kind of in there, it shows all the pad and mess and everything. And working on that for the rest of the day, pretty much till late, it was like about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Andrew from Roto-Rooter, like I said, was down there. No toilets, no water, nothing was run the whole day. So all the stuff was coming from somewhere else, because I wasn't using any water. They told no one to use any water. No toilets were flushed since 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock that night before. And like I said, we were cutting up the carpet, doing all that, I had to move all of my stuff out of the basement as fast as I could because it was just nonstop. And finally, about, like I said, he had to call in for extra line, which I have listed here on the bill, extra line to work to get it through there because what he had wasn't enough. And then he also had to call for the high pressure hose and all of that because it took him so long to try to get at the clog. So that was all extra that had to be taken care of. And like I said, he was like, it was like 2 o'clock and he wasn't thinking he was even gonna get it unplugged. I mean, I could just see the desperation in his face. I mean, we were desperate too. And it had just about was enough to send me under. So, I mean, finally, about 2:30, quarter to 3, he did break through. And it took him all of that extra equipment that's way beyond what they usually use. And he found that he broke the clog 25 feet into the city sewer, past my line. My line only goes out that far. It's good plastic pipe. I asked him that 4 times and he said, your pipe is fine, ma'am. We found this in the city line. So that's what they said. I asked them that over and over and over again. So after they got that done and everything like that, I kind of tried to compose myself because it was a horrible day for me and for everyone else. And I called the insurance company, called the mayor, and kind of left a couple messages for him because he was busy. And then he did call me back and said he would come out. And then after I got all that done, then Roto-Rooter, Andrew and Curtis called and said they would like to film it. And I do have the disc, but I didn't know if I could play that or anything here, you know. And the mayor has looked at the disc, and also he gave it to the letter from Roto-Rooter, gave it to Jesse Morrison from the engineering, and he has viewed it also. So they went through it and showed all of the spots, how it came in and how the line from the north fed into my line, and it's supposed to be a designated line as all coming into my line, because I know they said they cleaned the sewer in June, and I don't know what exactly date, I beg your pardon, I don't know, but I had water, what I thought was water backup was not water backup, it was urine coming in that I cleaned up 3 times prior to this. And as close as I wrote down these dates, 6/25, 7/21, and 5/30, and then the last one was 8/5, when all the feces and every Roto-Rooter was called and everything like that. So there has been something going on for a while, and like I said, I have lived there 26 years. I've never had my sub pump hardly uses any water, never had a drop of anything else come in, and now I've got all this backup. It's, you know, it's just a mess in the basement, and it's never going to be like it is, you know, and yes, I did get a little bit of insurance money, but that's never going to pay for what, you know, it is to have it back the way it was, you know, or anything like that. And like I said, I spoke to everybody that I knew to speak to here, showed him, I had the mayor out and showed him the feces and all of that stuff. He saw all that. And I don't know, I just feel there's something going on, and I don't feel like I should have to worry about this happening again, because with this many times it's happened, I feel like I can never do anything with my basement again, because I feel this is going to happen again unless I get that designated line and get someone properly out here, because if they clean it in June, and I have these dates right here, 6/25, I had that, what I thought was water, but was urine coming up that I cleaned up, and went into my carpet and everything too. Something wasn't cleaned up right, and that's what I'm trying to state here. And I just really feel like, you know, that I shouldn't be responsible for taking, you know, all the waste from the north and then having something back up and having, like the duplexes or whatever back up. I think this is what
Actually
actually happened,
happened
from
from
what I was
people together. And it could,
certainly happen tomorrow again.
you know, to me, so.
So we need to hear it. Jenny, since you're here, is there any
Okay.
comment you want to make
I
before?
have quite a bit. For one thing, she said she's been backed up 4 times. That night was the first time I ever had to back up. She did call me at 10:30 at night, got the message at 11. Laura Ruder called me at 12:30 at night. I got hold of Clyde from Hyde Plain in case there was a backup on the city main. He came out, we were out there at like 7:30 in the morning, off the manhole. I do have a video of it, which you may have seen. Keep in mind, the upstream from her house, there's 5 houses and 2 apartment buildings. Those apartment buildings, there's 7 units in one and 6 and 4 in the other. So in other words, there's 16 households upstream from her. This is the diagram